All right, it looks like it is noon, and so we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome all of our participants today to our webinar. My name is Sheila Gold. I'm the Executive Director of Admission for Tulane School of Professional Advancement, and it's my pleasure today to be joined by several of my colleagues. We have Kenley Fight, who is our Admissions and Student Success Angel. We have Michaela Williams, who is a student advisor extraordinaire. And we have Maddie Duncan, who is going to be behind the scenes, but we could not be having this webinar without her at all, who's going to be helping us go through the slides today and answering some of your chats that you can put in the chat function. So this is your first introduction to the School of Professional Advancement, and one of your takeaways today should be that you're surrounded by a team of people that are here to help you be successful, and it starts on your very first webinar. So you'll see it today how we work together, and we're excited to support students. So you'll be hearing from all of us. So our agenda for today is to give you a little bit of the background of the school. We'll talk a little bit about what we offer in undergraduate programs and certificates, and our bachelor's degrees and our certificates. We'll talk a little bit about how we support students, what we do to make sure that you're successful from the time you start applying to the school all the way through graduation, because we want everybody to graduate and be a SOPA graduate. We'll talk a little bit about the application process. We try to make that process as easy as possible. We don't make it tricky. There's no like surprises or any things that you have to figure out on your own. It's a very transparent process, so we'll kind of walk you through that. We'll talk a little bit about tuition and financial aid, because we know that that's important to every student. And then we'll have some question and answers at the end. On your screen, you should see a chat function at the bottom. If you have a question, you can type a question in that chat function. And Maddie, who is our wizard behind the scenes at the end, will help us sort of go through those questions, and we can answer those for you all. The other thing is that our information, our contact information, will be shared with you at the end of the webinar. So if you don't like asking questions in a public format and you just want to send a private email to any of us, we love to talk to students all day long. So we're happy to hear from you in that way as well. So however you all want to handle it, we're here to support you through this process. So that's who we are, and we're going to go ahead and get started so that we can tell you a little bit about the school. So Tulane School of Professional Advancement is one of the schools that's part of the larger Tulane University. Tulane was founded in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana and started offering continuing education classes in 1886, just a few short 30 years after the founding of the school. And the reason we feel like that's important to share with prospective students is that Tulane, almost from its very beginning, had a commitment to offering high-end education to working professionals. So for those of you who are looking at our programs because you either need to go part-time, or you're working a job while you're in school, or maybe you're returning to school after being a working professional for a while, you found the right place. Tulane School of Professional Advancement loves to educate students just like you who want to take your career to the next level and need to do that either by getting a bachelor's degree, a certificate that might give you a cluster of additional skills that you might need for your career. And then we also offer master's degrees, but we talk about that on a different webinar. But they are all part of our school. So our commitment to student learners goes back to the very beginning of our university. We offer online courses. We offer on-campus courses, combination of both, and also our times are flexible. That is because we know that working professionals need some flexibility. You're not an 18-year-old student necessarily who is living on campus and can sort of go to classes 9 to 5. And while we certainly can accommodate those students at Tulane University, SOPA's commitment is to provide flexible offerings to our students so that you can handle your professional commitments and also meet your goals towards getting your degree. So if you have any questions about that, definitely ask us, but know that that's how our schedules are set up. So we're structured for the working adult. So we offer a variety of degrees and minors at Tulane School of Professional Advancement. Our specific bachelor's degrees are all designed to be professional degrees. So these are degrees that have curriculum that are designed by our faculty, and our faculty are all practitioners in these particular fields. So they have worked in these fields for years, and they know the skill sets that our graduates will need to get jobs immediately. Part of the goal of the School of Professional Advancement is that we want to educate professionals to be able to either take the next jump in their career or get a job in these fields right away. So they're practical skills that the students will need to be competitive in the work market. So the degrees that we offer are digital design, exercise science, general legal studies, health and wellness, homeland security studies, a humanities degree, which is the most broad degree, information technology, public relations, and social sciences. And social sciences is also much more like a traditional Bachelor of Arts broader degree. We offer several minors as well that you can have accompany the bachelor's degree. Our minors are advertising, applied business, exercise science, general legal studies, health and wellness, homeland security studies, human resources development, information technology, marketing, public relations, and small business development. So you can add those minors to your bachelor's degree. So if there are a cluster of skills that you would like, but you don't want to take the whole degree, but you want them to complement your bachelor's degree, that's why we offer those minors as well. So if, for instance, if you're interested in some human resources skills, because you know that that may be part of your function, but you want to get your IT bachelor's degree, you can do both of those. And so therefore you can position yourself within the workforce to have both of those skills. We also offer certificate programs, and I'm particularly going to focus on the professional certificates, which is on the right side of your screen. Our professional certificates are just a cluster of classes. They are not a full degree, but they are a cluster of classes that give our students specific skills in areas that might be helpful to them in their current workplace. So these are much smaller, a much smaller undertaking as opposed to committing to a whole bachelor's degree, which is 120 credits. You can commit to a certificate, which is anywhere between 12 and 15 credits. And depending on the pace at which you take those credits, you could complete that certificate within a year if you're interested in going quickly and taking those classes. And you can gain a skill set in accounting fundamentals, applied business studies, digital media and marketing communications, human resources, marketing, PR, or small business development. And for many of you, that might be a great way to get started, to sort of dip your toe into going back to school, for those of you who haven't been to school for a while, and get some skills. And it might be enough just to finish with a certificate that might give you what you need to make a little pivot in your career. Or you might say, that was great, I sort of got the bug to go ahead and finish my degree, and you can do that as well. So we hope that that will be an interesting offering for some of you who are on the webinar today as well. All right, so one of the incredible people who we have with us today is Michaela Williams, and Michaela is a senior academic advisor, but senior doesn't begin to describe it because he's just the guy who's going to get you over the finish line, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what we offer to you all as students in ways of supporting and helping you be successful.
Thank you very much, Sheila. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Michaela Williams. I'm a senior academic advisor here with SOPA. I've been here almost 9 months, but I've been with the university going on 9 years. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about student support and success. And first, I'm going to talk about academic advisors, what I do. We have 4 wonderful advisors in addition to myself. working with all students across all of the degrees that we talked about. What we want to do as academic advisors, we wanted to explain university policies and procedures to all the students to make sure they understand everything that's going on within the university that they may not know. Secondly, we want to advise on core curriculum, graduation requirements, and applying for graduation is extremely important. So making sure that you're on track in the degrees that you want, not taking classes that you may not need or may be unnecessary towards your degree progress. We will make sure that you're staying on track towards your specific degree in a time frame that's conducive for you. Monitoring your academic progress, making sure that you're taking all of the core requirements, major requirements, distribution requirements, everything that's counting towards your degree to make sure you're taking those specific classes at the time that you want to take them in the manner that you want to take them. And last but not least, refer and advocate. We want to be here for you when you need. There are things that go on with all the students. Life happens, job happens, different things happen throughout the course of semester. So we want to be here to support and advocate for you. So if there are things that you need on campus in terms of tutoring, writing specialists, if you need support for mental illness, anything that's going on with you that you need to just speak to someone, we may be able to refer you to the right areas on campus. So we want to be able to be open and have communication with all of our students to send them in the right direction to where they need to go. Next would be credits for prior learning. So for many students who might be older or who have dedicated their lives to community service or have been working for a long time, who have military training, these are opportunities that you may be able to earn credit for your prior experiences in your life. We don't want those things to go to waste, those things that you've done for nothing. We want to make sure that if it's something that you feel that's relevant and you want to bring it up and discuss it with us, we'll be happy to look into it and see if we can count those credits towards your degree. Sheila's already talked about our faculty. Our faculty are staples in the professions that they teach in. So these are people who have all been in the field, so when you're getting the information, when you're learning things from these people, these are from the experience they have in the field and the jobs that they've done personally. So you can know what they're telling you is accurate and correct information to help you move forward in your profession once you earn your undergraduate degree or your certificate or whatever program it is that you decide to do. Career advice, we have an in-house career advisor, Cynthia Washington, who is fantastic. She is always around and willing to meet with students in terms of interview preparation, resume, LinkedIn, anything that you need to be successful moving forward, looking for a job, either during your time here and once you graduate. Cynthia is always willing to help. She teaches a Tailor Your Life class that's specific to career advancement or searching for a career. So that might be something you might be interested in taking, but she's always around and always willing to help. And also, lastly, network of program and peers to all Tulane alumni. We had orientation last night, and one of our alumni wanted to make it clear that being a SOPA student does not exclude you from the rest of Tulane University, and we don't want anybody to ever believe that or anybody to ever tell you that. But once you graduate from Tulane, your degree will say Tulane University. You will have access to alumni from all over the world who are willing and able to support Tulane alumni, looking for jobs, helping them with letters of recommendation. So you will have access to all of them and not just SOPA graduates. You will have access to all of Tulane University graduates all over the world.
All right, thanks, Michaela. So I'm going to have Kenley come in and share a little bit about our application process and financial aid, and hopefully anything else that she wants to share, because Kenley is our angel behind the scenes that helps students get through the process.
Thank you, Sheila. So as Sheila was saying before, our application is really straightforward. So you'll go to our website. You can actually go to sopa.tulane.edu, which you see at the bottom of the screen. You'll see apply at the top of that page. You just click apply. You'll go ahead and create a login where you'll be able to, at that point, choose the application that you want to start. So if you're doing undergraduate, for summer, then you'll choose that one, and then you'll just fill out the information that it asks for. We'll also look for, you'll be able to upload as part of your application a government ID, like your driver's license. You can just take a clear photo of it if that works best for you. So again, we're trying to just keep it really straightforward, really simple. We'll also need transcripts, official transcripts. That can be sent electronically to SOPA Records at tulane.edu. Again, SOPA Records at tulane.edu, or they can be sent from the university by mail to any of our campuses as well. So it's a really clear, simple process, but if you have questions about it, feel free to call any of our offices. As Sheila has already mentioned, and I just kind of want to also say, we love working people, like getting them through the process, working with you to make sure that your questions are answered and that you're going in with the full knowledge of what's happening here. And then in terms of financial aid, SOPA students who qualify for financial aid can just go to, and they generally do, I just want to say that you can go to fafsa.ed.gov. And at that point, you'll be undergraduates who have not met the aggregate loan limit for financial aid will be eligible for loans. Some of you will be eligible for Pell Grants. Go ahead and fill out your FAFSA for 2019, well, I guess it'll be 2020, 2021 now. If you're coming in for summer, you can still fill out FAFSA for 2019, 2020. Again, if you have questions about that, feel free to call us. We love getting you connected with your financial aid counselors as well. Our tuition currently is $474 per credit hour. So, and we offer discounts for military, for veterans, for teachers, first responders, Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish employees. So we really are trying to do what we can on our end to help make this a streamlined experience that also really is just really beneficial for every student. So I think that pretty much covers it. Sheila, if we'll go back, or what, do you want me to mention deadlines?
Yep,
Or
mention the deadlines.
So our deadlines for summer applications, that deadline is May 15th, fall August 15th, and spring is January 1. So we want to just encourage you, if you know you're going to apply, go ahead and do it earlier rather than later, because as a former student, as a SOPA graduate, it's really important, I think, to come in and have as many options in terms of classes as you can. So if you know that this is a track that you want to take, then just go ahead and apply. The applications are open now. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's great, Kenley. Thank you. Yeah, we have starts every semester. So if you're thinking about starting in the summer, it's open now. Also for fall and spring, and for the following spring, our spring just started, spring 2020. But we do encourage you to go ahead and just get your application in. And you can always, if you apply, let's say for the summer, which we certainly hope that you all will, and for some reason feel like you need to defer it to the following semester, which would be fall, that's okay too. You can go ahead and apply, and students have some flexibility. So we, like I said, we like to work with you all to make this as easy as possible and fit into your schedule. So Michaela had mentioned the credits for prior learning, and this is an important piece that we like to share, especially with our students, because you all have had some experience in the field that you might be working in and might be coming back after several years as a professional. Students who come to our programs having worked in a particular field for a while, you may have some work experience, or you may even have some professional credentials that might be able to translate into classroom credits. And if you feel that you do, we have a process. It's a very formalized process, so you need to sort of go through all of the steps. But we hope that we can translate some of your experience into classroom credits, which will save you time and also save you money. Students can translate life experience into up to 24 credits. You will have to have a portfolio assessment of your professional experience. There will be an exam, and then we also look at military and post-secondary training that can translate as well. So if you feel like you are an expert in a certain area in the workforce, but you really need to come back and get a bachelor's degree in order to get promoted in your workforce, then you might be able to be a good fit for this option. So the advisors can help you through this process, and I would tell you to go ahead and ask about it, because it might be a great way. 24 credits is quite a bit of credits towards a degree. So we hope that you will find that this is helpful for your moving towards the program. Okay, so we are at the point of the webinar where we would like to answer any questions that you might have. There's a chat function at the bottom of your screen. It says chat or Q&A, and you can submit a question. So, Maddie, do we have any questions?
We do. The first one is from Javier. He says, I'm a current Tulane professional MBA student who is interested in the Human Resources Certificate. Can any of my MBA courses apply towards obtaining that certificate?
So I am going to see if Michaela, as an advisor, is aware of the answer to that. I will tell you, it may be tricky to get the certificate at the same time that you are an MBA student in terms of a registration piece, but our courses tend to be a little bit different. But Michaela, are you interested in chiming in terms of a transfer credit procedural perspective?
I was actually typing the answer, chiming in. I don't actually know the answer. It's a very good question. I was gonna get his information and then follow up with him. I'm gonna get with Dan on that one, or Amanda, and see what my initial thought is no, but I definitely want to check to be sure. Okay,
so we are going to, Javier, take your information, and we will get back to you. But thank you for the question.
Alrighty, and we have a question from Christy. Can credits for prior learning also be used in a professional certificate?
Michaela, I'm going to kick that to you too.
Oh, they're coming fast and furious with the good questions. I like that one. Can you be using a professional certificate? I'm not sure of that one either. That's another Dan question I'm gonna have to ask.
I think it also depends on the certificate. So the certificates are, they're only about 12 to 15 credits depending on the certificate, and they're clustered in such a way that, that we want the students to get that particular content, because it's only a few classes. It's only 3 to 4 classes. I do believe that you should meet with your advisors to see. It's a little bit of a tricky question because we're not quite sure what exactly you're trying to transfer in there. I always tell students, ask the question, right? So if you have a particular skill set that you really think meets the criterion of a class that we're offering, then go ahead and ask the question. We never guarantee it until we see, and so many of our students have such different skill sets that it's always worth asking the question. So I would tell you to reach back out to maybe call an advisor specifically, or Michaela can maybe reach out to you after the webinar, and let's find out the specific class that you're wondering and the specific certificate that you're looking at pursuing.
I definitely will, Sheila. I will check on that one as well, but you were right about the certificates being such few classes, depending on how many, even if they were allowed to count, how many would be allowed to count. So it would be a question to pose to Dan, and also the program director will play a huge role in that as well. So
right.
It's a lot, a process. We'll have to talk to several people to figure out what all we could count towards those particular certificates.
Right. So the director of the programs have the final discretion on that. So they would want to see sort of your prior experience and then whether or not it really fits. We match what the students are interested in getting credit for with the curriculum in the class to make sure that you really have met all the criterion. So it's a good question. And if you can give a specific sort of after the webinar, we'll check on that for you.
So we have a couple more questions. One just came in from Sierra. It says, for the credit for prior learning, if you have already received your bachelor's degree and would like to get a degree in something else that is relatable, can my previous credits be applied towards that degree?
So once again, I'm going to kick that one to you, Michaela, but my initial is if you are, I want to make sure I understand. So you already have a bachelor's. What it sounded like to me is you already have a bachelor's and you want to pursue another bachelor's in a different area. And so you're wondering if maybe some of the courses that you took in your first bachelor's you could count towards. So that's a transfer of credit in. So Michaela, do you want to talk a little bit? Oh, I got it. Yes, that's it. So Michaela, do you want to talk a little bit about just transferring credits in, what that process is like?
Okay, yeah, so transfer credits. So anytime you apply to Tulane as a transfer student, we will need all transcripts from any previous institutions, and we will evaluate and review those. And you are allowed to transfer in a maximum of 60 credits from a previous institution towards your bachelor's degree. So we as advisors, we will evaluate your transfer credits and we will determine which credits will transfer in, which would be equivalent classes to the ones here at Tulane. So yeah, if you're pursuing a second degree as a transfer, we can transfer in a maximum of 60 credits from a previous institution.
Thanks, Michaela. Anything else, Maddie?
We do. We have a couple more. Let's see here. Helena says she is an undergrad studying psychology and criminal justice. She graduates in May and is interested in the general legal studies program. Would that be a post-baccalaureate degree or certificate? My short-term goal is to become a paralegal.
Okay, so I would tell you to look into our certificate if that's something that you're interested in doing. But I also think that depending on what it is that you're interested in doing, it might be nice to, I can take your information and connect you to the director of our general legal studies program. Her name is Robin Ice. She's an attorney herself and practiced for many years. And she tends to give really great advice to our students on whether or not they should pursue, sort of the certificate or the degree. We are ABA approved. So that is something that I think that you should know before the conversation. But we would, if you would be willing to have us give your name to Robin, I think that that would be a really great first step as you look into what your options are.
Alrighty, we have another question from Devin that says he's looking at the SOPA website. I see the online classes for certifications. Is there a way to find the online classes for actual degrees?
So our bachelor's degrees are not totally online. Our master's degrees are. So some of the classes are, but most of our bachelor's degrees are at the most a combination, but the majority are in class and on the ground. So you can actually, if you go to our website, I'm not looking at the website right now, but as there's, you could look at our area on the website that says programs and degrees, and it lists, there's like circles. I'm making a circle. So it'll tell you about our programs, and you can see an icon underneath. If it has like a computer, that indicates that it's an online program. And if it doesn't, then it indicates that it's on ground. And if it's a combination, it'll indicate that as well. You also can see our course catalog online, and you may be able to tell which classes are offered online and which aren't, but bachelor's degrees generally have an on-ground component, so that's an important question to ask, so thank you. Kenley, do you have something that you'd like to share about that as well?
Yes, I would share just that the classes are, excuse me, there are classes at at different times that are available online and on campus. So that's really something that you can go on our website as well. You can check out the schedule of classes under student information, which will also just kind of shed some light on what's available and when. And it changes by semester, but you can get a good idea. If you want to look at spring, you can kind of understand that breakdown, because there are classes available at our, online at our Uptown campus and our Elmwood campus. So there's a lot of variety, and I think that's on purpose because just different options work for different people. So we're trying to accommodate as much as we can. So if you want to check out the schedule of classes, I think that's a good way to get an idea as well.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, and I have one more question from Sarah. Is the professional certificate in accounting fundamentals online or in person? If in person, when are the classes generally held?
So, Sarah, I would share with you the same. I think Kenley's advice is spot on. I do think it changes a little bit from semester to semester, but to give you like a in-time answer to that, I would refer you to our website, and you can look at our schedule of classes, and you can just use this semester as an example to get a sense of what's being offered.
Mm-hmm. Could I just add that sometimes, for instance, a class might be offered on a Monday one night, a Monday one semester, and then it might be a Tuesday. So it's hard to know exactly what's going to be available when, because we're really trying to support student need, and that changes on a regular basis. So just to kind of reiterate what Sheila just said, it's really just, you get an idea by looking at the schedule of classes. And I think the majority of those have been on campus. I know a couple are online, but the majority of those are typically on campus. Not that that couldn't change, but kind of just in that real time now, they're typically on campus.
Thanks, Kenley. Are there any more questions, Maddie?
No more have come through.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's attended today, and for your questions. And for those of you who may have additional questions, my contact information is on the screen, sgold@tulane.edu. And you can always call our general number and ask for an admissions representative at 504-865-5333, as well as the website has all of our contact information. We love hearing from students, and we're here to help walk you through the process and help you decide sort of which program or which, whether a degree or a certificate, which might suit your needs best. But we're thrilled that you spent your time with us. We know that everybody's time is valuable, so we appreciate and honor the fact that you gave this time to listen to us and learn more about our programs. And I always tell students, I certainly hope that we will be welcoming you all to campus soon as a Tulane student. So thank you, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your afternoon.